What if I told you that governments can create billions, even trillions of dollars with a few keystrokes, yet millions of people still struggle to afford food, rent, and healthcare? If money can seemingly be created from nothing, why isn't everyone rich? And if there's no shortage of money, why does poverty continue to exist? Welcome to Financial Empire, where we uncover the hidden history behind the world's greatest financial mysteries. To answer this question, we have to travel back thousands of years to a time when money didn't exist at all. Long before paper bills and digital bank accounts, wealth was measured in cattle, grain, shells, and precious metals. Trading was difficult because every exchange required both people to want exactly what the other had. This inefficiency gave birth to one of humanity's greatest inventions: money. Gold and silver became trusted because they were scarce, durable, and nearly impossible to create. Their value came not from governments, but from the fact that they were limited. Then everything changed. As kingdoms expanded and commerce exploded, carrying heavy bags of gold became impractical. Banks began issuing paper receipts that represented gold stored safely in vaults. People realized these receipts were easier to trade than the gold itself, and over time, paper money became accepted as money. But here's where history took a dramatic turn. Banks discovered that very few people came to withdraw all their gold at once, so they started issuing more paper receipts than the gold they actually possessed. In other words, they began creating money out of thin air. This practice, known today as fractional reserve banking, became the foundation of the modern financial system. Governments soon embraced this idea as well. During wars, economic crises, and recessions, nations needed more money than taxes could provide. Instead of raising taxes dramatically, central banks created new money electronically and used it to buy government debt or support the banking system. Today, most money isn't printed as physical cash at all. It exists as digital numbers inside computers. Around 90% of the world's money is created when commercial banks issue loans. Every mortgage, business loan, or credit card expands the money supply. So yes, money is often created from nothing. But if that's true, why aren't we all wealthy? The answer lies in a simple truth that history teaches again and again. Creating money does not create real wealth. Wealth is built by producing goods, services, technology, food, energy, and innovation. Imagine an island with 10 people, 100 loaves of bread, and $100. If someone magically creates another $100 overnight, the island still has only 100 loaves of bread. More money is now chasing the same amount of goods, so prices rise. This is inflation. History has shown its devastating power many times. In Germany after World War I, the government printed enormous amounts of money to pay its debts. At first, it seemed like an easy solution, but soon prices spiraled out of control. Workers were paid twice a day because wages became worthless within hours. Families carried wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. Similar disasters occurred decades later in Zimbabwe and Venezuela, where excessive money creation destroyed savings and pushed millions into poverty. But inflation isn't the only reason people remain poor. The newly created money doesn't arrive equally in everyone's hands. It usually enters the economy through banks, governments, corporations, and financial markets before reaching ordinary workers. Those closest to the source often buy assets like stocks, businesses, and real estate before prices rise. By the time the money spreads through the economy, everyday people face higher prices while their wages struggle to keep up. Economists call this the Cantillon effect, named after the 18th century economist Richard Cantillon, who observed that the first receivers of new money gain the greatest advantage. This explains why periods of aggressive money creation can coincide with booming stock markets and soaring property prices, while millions still find life becoming more expensive. The issue isn't simply how much money exists. It's who receives it first, how it's invested, and whether the economy produces more real value. Throughout history, the richest societies were not those that printed the most money. They were the ones that built industries, educated their people, encouraged innovation, protected property rights, and increased productivity. Money is only a tool, a claim on real goods and services, not wealth itself. Printing more rulers doesn't make a table longer. And creating more currency doesn't create more houses, farms, factories, or hospitals. It simply changes how existing wealth is measured and distributed. So the next time someone says governments can print unlimited money, remember this: they can create currency, but they cannot print prosperity. Real prosperity must be earned through human creativity, hard work, and productive economies. And perhaps the greatest financial illusion in history is not that money can be created from nothing, but that money alone can solve every problem. The real question isn't who prints the money, it's who creates the value behind it.